The Bible's secret giant war after Goliath. We all know David and Goliath, the shepherd kid with a sling facing down a 9-foot monster. It's the ultimate underdog story. But what if I told you the battle didn't stop there? What if Goliath's death wasn't the end of the giants, but just the beginning of their final bloody showdown? Stop! The Bible hides a brutal war that kicked off after Goliath fell. 4 more giants rose from Gath, all from Goliath's bloodline, all hungry for revenge. Most sermons skip this part. It's buried in 2 Samuel 21 and 1 Chronicles 20, 2 chapters rarely taught in Sunday school. But here's what really happened. Long before Goliath ever showed up, Israelite spies checked out the Promised Land. They came back terrified. They talked about giants called the Anakim, who made them feel like grasshoppers. These weren't just tall men. They were tied to the Nephilim, that mysterious corrupted race from Genesis 6 who brought violence and chaos to the earth. Joshua's conquest wiped out most of them. But Joshua 11:22 says some survivors escaped to 3 Philistine cities, Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. Gath, that's Goliath's hometown. So when David dropped Goliath with that stone, he wasn't just killing a Philistine champion. He was striking a blow against a corrupted bloodline that threatened God's people. A lineage the Bible traces back to the giants who brought violence to the earth in Genesis 6. But evil rarely goes down without a fight. Goliath had relatives back in Gath, a whole family of giants, and after he fell, they came looking for blood. Years later, during David's reign as king, the Bible quietly lays out 4 battles. You'll find them in 2 Samuel 21 and 1 Chronicles 20. This time it wasn't just David fighting, it was his mighty men, warriors inspired by his courage. First was Ishbi-Benob. His bronze spearhead weighed 300 shekels, that's 7.5 pounds of metal on the end of a pole. During one battle, David got exhausted and started to fade. Ishbi-Benob saw his chance and moved in for the kill. King David, the giant slayer himself, was about to be taken out by another giant. But David's nephew Abishai jumped in at the last second. He struck the giant down and saved the king's life. David's men were so shaken, they made him promise to stay off the front lines. They called him the Lamp of Israel, who they couldn't afford to lose. The second giant was Saph, also called Sippai in another account. He fell during a skirmish, killed by one of David's mighty men named Sibbecai. The third giant brings us to a biblical mystery that stumped scholars for centuries. 2 Samuel 21 verse 19 says a warrior named Elhanan killed Goliath the Gittite. Wait, what? Didn't David kill Goliath? This looks like a massive contradiction. But 1 Chronicles 25 clears it up. Elhanan didn't kill Goliath, he killed Lami, the brother of Goliath. Most scholars believe the 2 Samuel text suffered a copyist error when ancient scribes transcribed the manuscripts. The Chronicles account preserves the correct detail. And this Lami carried a spear just like his brothers, with a shaft like a weaver's beam, a massive wooden pole used in ancient looms, thick as a man's arm. The fourth and final giant was a man of great stature. The Bible never gives us his name, but it does give us his measurements. 6 fingers on each hand, 6 toes on each foot. 24 digits total. When he started taunting Israel, just like Goliath did, David's nephew Jonathan cut him down. All 4 of these giants were descendants of the giant of Gath. You can see them as the last desperate gasp of this ancient bloodline trying to reclaim its power. With each one that fell, the age of giants was finally and truly over in the Promised Land. It really makes you wonder what other forgotten battles are tucked away in Scripture. Peepaw says, "When one man stands in faith, he lights a fire in the hearts of others to finish what he started." The giants we face today may not be 9 feet tall, but the principle is exactly the same. Courage is contagious. Faith can topple any obstacle. It passes from one generation to the next. But here's the lesson we can't ignore. David's one act of faith didn't just win a single battle. It lit a fire in a whole generation of warriors. They stood up and faced the giants in their world. It shows that taking down evil is often a team effort. The torch of courage passes from one person to the next. David started it with Goliath. Then his mighty men finished it. Abishai, Sibbecai, Elhanan, Jonathan. They took down the final four. Goliath's fall started a chain reaction. It proved that when one person dares to stand in faith, others get the courage they need to finish the fight. The giants we face today might not be 9 feet tall with bronze armor and 7.5-pound spearheads. But the principle is exactly the same. Faith can topple any obstacle, no matter how impossible it looks. David didn't clear out every giant, but he showed his generation how to fight them. And they did. The age of giants didn't end with a single stone. It ended with a legacy of courage passed down, one warrior at a time. The battle belongs to the Lord, but he uses ordinary people who refuse to back down. If this hidden history shocked you, don't let the secret end here. Hit the like button to show you want more forgotten battles from Scripture. Follow Peepaw to uncover the stories your church never taught. Like, share, follow for more ancient scrolls.